Linda Karaberis, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make Greek spinach pie, or Spanakopita. Now, I learned how to make Spanakopita through a friend and my Greek cooking mentor, Stella Seferiadis of Attleboro. Hello, Stella. Hi, George. And I met Stella several years ago at a place called Crystal Spring Learning Center in Plainville, Mass., where she was teaching a Greek cooking class. And Crystal Spring has several cooking classes throughout the year, and they're always published in the paper when one's coming up. And I highly recommend taking one of their cooking classes if you like a nice, intimate, hands-on, personal experience where you're going to have great food and meet some great people. And these are the people that have been doing it their entire lives. So it's really a great place to take a cooking class. And it's in an old farmhouse, and it's just a terrific experience. I'll give you their website. It's www.crystalspring.org. Now, the Greek cooking to me is particularly important because I feel as though it's filling a gap in my background. I never knew my Greek grandparents, which were on my father's side, so I really feel that I missed out on that social aspect of my Greek heritage growing up. So by taking this Greek cooking class with Stella and learning how to make these wonderful Greek dishes, I felt that connection to my background, my Greek background. And you know, I think that's the wonderful thing about food, is that you can, it gives you a way to connect with your own ethnicity, a way to celebrate and experience it, especially if you miss out on the personal experience of cooking with a family member. So with that said, I'm going to mise en place for our spinach pie, or Spanakopita, today, and give me a minute and I'll be right back. All right, mise en place, French for everything in its place. So I'm going to tell you about each one of the ingredients we're going to be using today. Now, the first and most important for this dish, and this is where I'm really going to show you the technique to work with fillo dough. Now, this you can get in the supermarket, in any market. It's the Athens fillo, and what I love about this is that for the home cook now, they have made these into a 1-pound package that contains twin 8-ounce packets. So let me show you that. You know, before, years ago, you could only get the big, long, commercial fillo strips, and they were, unless you were used to working with them all the time with a big family, very difficult to work with. But here's the two, one of the packets, and that's what we're going to use today. And this is going to be perfect for one 13 by 9 inch dish of fillo. And I'm also going to show you how to do the little fillo triangles for an appetizer size. So, and the nice thing about this is, this fillo dough, you can take out one of these packages. Don't open it up though. You can keep it in your refrigerator for up to 4 weeks, so you can use it at any time. Now, you can also refreeze it. If you're only using maybe half of one of those packages, you just roll it back up again, stick it back in the freezer, make sure it's sealed well. You can keep it up to 2 months like that. Or you can re-roll it, seal it well, and keep it in the refrigerator for up to a week once it's been opened. But we're going to use the entire one package of that today, so that won't be a problem. The next ingredient, scallions. I'm going to have, you can use 6 to 8 scallions, and I'm going to cut off some of the top green parts, but we are going to use both the green and the white portions of the scallions. Next, of course, spinach. Now, I drained 2 10-ounce packages of frozen chopped spinach. You want to make sure it's chopped. Now, if you want to use fresh, you would use 1.5 pounds of fresh spinach. And I would recommend, if you're going to do that, is to use the baby spinach. That way, just cook it in a very small amount of water, just till it wilts, and that's it, and use it like that. Now, I'm using the frozen because I find it's just convenient to always have it on hand. And although I've made this dish with the fresh, I haven't really noticed any discernible difference in the spinach pie itself. So I'm going to go with the frozen today. And what I do is to drain it. Each package I thaw it overnight or thaw it in the microwave. And for me, I found the best method was to put it between two white paper towels and just kind of squeeze it out over the sink, just to get most of the moisture out. Now, if somebody out there has a better method than that, please let me know, because I think I've tried just about everything, and for me, that seems to work the best. All right, next we have 1 medium or large yellow onion. Okay, we have a small curd cottage cheese. You can pick up a 1-pound container. I have about 1 teaspoon of dried mint and 2 teaspoons of dried dill. Now, again, when you're doing any kind of ethnic cooking, this is where I want to stop and talk about flavor profiles. So when you think about Greek cooking, I think the things that come to mind are mint, dill, oregano, parsley, lemon, olive oil, lots of onions. That's what we refer to in cooking school as a flavor profile. Just like if you think about Mexican cooking, you think about some of the hot peppers that they use in the dishes, cumin, the corn, lime, things like that. So, and what I also want to point out, in the Greek kitchen, they usually use a combination of fresh herbs and dry, because again, it just gives you different flavors. So today I'm using all dry for convenience. If you were going to use fresh herbs, it's usually 3 to 1. So I'm using a teaspoon of dried mint. You'd use 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of fresh to give it the same kind of flavor intensity in the dish. All right. Now I'm using 4 eggs today. I also have, I've got some melted butter here, and I'm going to combine that with some extra virgin olive oil. Now I have 5 tablespoons melted. We're going to use about a half a cup for this entire recipe, and that usually works out perfectly well for this whole dish. And I'm going to add my extra virgin olive oil after. So I'm going to say about 3 tablespoons of this to about 5 tablespoons of butter. Now that's my own personal combination. You're going to find your own. Some people use all olive oil. That's fine. Some people, like myself, use a combination. I like that flavor. Some people use all butter. So it's completely up to you, but you're going to need about a half cup for the entire dish. Now, feta. This is what I really want to talk about here. Now, feta is, again, considered one of the great cheeses of the world, and it's primarily, it originated in Greece, the real Greek feta. And I'm going to suggest to you, to recommend to you rather, that you go to a Greek market for real Greek feta, and that's where I got this today. At the market in Brockton, it's called Athena Market. I make a trip there maybe once every 6 to 8 weeks. You can pick up a lot of your Greek products there with the Kalamata olives, the real Greek feta that comes from Greece, and all kinds of products for, they also carry products for Italian cooking and Middle Eastern, but it's primarily a Greek market, and they also sell wholesale there. So it's great, and they can tell you what you need. But this is the real Greek feta that comes in the brine. They'll cut it for you there. And this particular one, see the way it looks like it's in a wedge. This is the best Greek feta you can get. This is what's called the barrel-aged feta from Greece. And the reason this is considered the best is because the aging in the barrel, the complexity of the wood, it just gives it a nice, mellow flavor. And once you taste real Greek feta, you will not go back to the stuff that you buy in the package in the supermarkets. In fact, it's sad to say, but the American is considered probably the poorest quality of feta. And again, once you sample this, you'll love it. And what you do when you go to the market, and that's again Athena Market, it's in Brockton on Pleasant Street, you can purchase for 50 cents a large container of the brine. And you know, this will last up to 2 months. So again, this is a 1 pound piece, and I'm going to show you after. I'm going to say whatever we use. I'm going to take the remainder of it. I'm going to put brine in a glass dish. You want to keep it in glass, and whatever you have left over, just put it in the dish and make sure most of it's covered with the brine, and then seal it, and it will be fine. But again, and I guess the distinction between the Greek feta and the American, or, you know, feta is also manufactured in other countries, but the real difference with the Greek feta is that it's made of sheep and goat's milk, or a combination of both. And the American and some of the other is made with cow's milk, and it really is a totally different consistency. So again, once you try this, I don't think you'll ever go back to the other stuff. So, and also, let me see, what else did I get at the Greek market today? I got the Greek olive oil, because, you know, Greece is also a large producer of olive oil in the Mediterranean. People always tend to think of Italian olive oils, which are excellent, but Greece also produces some excellent olive oil. And I guess I'm going to talk about the difference too between, this is the extra virgin olive oil, which you use directly in cooking, and that's called the first cold pressed. And the way you want to think about it when you see extra virgin olive oil, it's the fruitiest type of olive oil you can get. And it also has the lowest acidity. The all-purpose olive oil is olives that have been pressed after the first pressing, and those are terrific for sautéing, and I use that as a general frying oil on the stove. Also, the extra virgin, to sauté with it, you could do it at very low temperatures, but it has what's called a low smoke point, and you really have to watch this from burning. So, and again, why use your good extra virgin olive oil when you're just sautéing a few things? You still want to get the little bit of olivey taste and, of course, the health benefits from using the monounsaturated oil. So again, I get the big container of all-purpose olive oil for any kind of frying I do, and I use this for salad dressings and for cooking like this, where I'm going to actually put it in the dish. So there are my ingredients. And now I'm going to start, the onion, I'm going to show you how to properly chop an onion. So we'll show you that next. All right, now I'm going to show you how to properly chop an onion. Now I've got my onion here, and let me first get a scrap bowl. Another thing that I picked up in culinary school, that always have a scrap bowl on your counter to put the loose scraps of food to rip it. Then you just dump it in the trash after. Very convenient instead of having it messy all over the place. But anyway, let's start with this. Okay, the top end of the onion, just cut that right off, just like that. That in your scrap bowl. On this end, just keep this intact now for now, the root end, but let's just get rid of these little the smaller roots, so they're not in our way. Okay, but again, leave that root end intact. Now, I'm going to take this and cut it in half. Cut the onion in half like that. Now, once you do this, just peel this. This peels right off. See how nicely that comes right off? And again, you've still got your root end intact. Now again, I'm going to peel that right off like that. Now, we're going to start with each half. Now I'm going to do a couple of horizontal cuts like this. Just be careful. Hold the onion like this. See what I'm doing? My fingers on top and holding it along the sides. And we're going to start from the bottom here. A cut that's parallel to the board. Another one here, then another one up to the top. So you're cutting it in thirds. All right, now I'm going to turn the onion a little bit, and then we're just going to slice straight down like this. And again, depends how small you want to make these. Maybe let's do this one maybe every 1/4 of an inch. And again, kind of hold it like this. And I think the key here is having a very sharp knife. Okay? About every 1/4 of an inch or so, just straight down through the onion. And you will get better at this. Now I turn it like this, and now we're going to slice it this way. And again, you don't need any of those fancy chopping machines where you got to take apart, you know, three different pieces. And once you get this down pat, practice on a few onions, make some French onion soup or something. Oh, watch that. There. And you just take the end like that and throw it in the bowl. There you go. Look at that. And for this dish, that's fine. All right, now I'm going to cut the other half. And again, be very careful with this. And I'm going to do another horizontal cut. And another. You don't have to go all the way through. Say, just about to there. And the onion. Now I'm just going to turn it so I can make my cuts down like this. And we're going to fry this onion in some regular all-purpose olive oil, which is what I was talking about earlier. Okay? And we've done the cuts like that. Now again, hold the onion like this, straight down, and look at how nicely that's chopping. There you go. All right. If you want, you can just take that end a little bit like that, chop some off. So now we're going to prepare the filling, because we want the filling ready before I show you how to work with the fillo dough, because you have to work with the fillo very quickly. So you want your filling ready and ready to go, and then it's going to go very fast. So now I'm going to chop up my scallions. Let's put this in a bowl. Okay, let's get a large bowl here. I'm going to start my filling by putting in the spinach. All right, let's put this in the sink. Let me give my onions a little bit of a stir here. All right, those look good. And you know, a little trick that I always use to soften things, and I like to add a little bit of sweetness, I actually use either regular dry sherry or cream sherry whenever I'm sauteing onions. I don't know, I just like the flavor, and it just sweetens them a little bit more. So, and I use this to saute a lot of things. If I'm doing any kind of a chicken dish or whatever, I also throw in some sherry. You can also use any kind of white wine. But anyway, I just put in 2 or 3 tablespoons, and that's going to help soften them also and give them a little bit of a sweet flavor. So we'll let those go while I'm chopping the scallions. Let's get rid of some of these tops. And you are going to use some of the green part, but you don't need all of that. So let's get rid of that. Okay. That in my bowl. And again, just very, very thin. Keep the fingers curled under. Just doing these all at once. Okay, yeah, get rid of that. Oh boy, these are strong. These are really bothering my eyes here. Pardon me if I have to cry for a moment. Oh, these are strong. But I guess that's good, because it'll give it some good flavor. All right, again. These we don't need to saute. Thank you for giving me a break so I could wipe my teary eyes. Let me get rid of this, because these onions are very strong. And I thought, sure, you always have an experience with that, so get rid of that. Okay. righty. Continue with our filling. Now, let's throw in our mint. Sprinkle our mint over. And the dill. Goes away. Next, cottage cheese. Now, you can add the whole container if you like it really creamy, your filling, or about half or 2/3, whatever you want. This recipe is very versatile. So I'm just going to show you, the standard recipe and the way I make it. And once you make it like this the first time, you'll make your own adjustments. Okay? So I like it. I don't like it too creamy. So I'm probably going to add 2/3 of the cottage cheese. But again, you want to dump the whole thing in, throw the whole thing in. Okay, so I'm done with my cottage cheese. Now I'm going to add my eggs. Okay. And I want to show you something too. A lot of people hit the eggs on the side of the bowl. No, you don't do that. That's how you get shells in them. You just bang them on the countertop or on your board. Yeah, let's use the board. Yeah, let me move this. So I'm going to wash this right after. Okay? And you open them up, and that way you won't get shell in it because it just breaks the outside of the shell, and you won't, again, you hit it on the sharp edge like that, and it's going to push the eggshell into the egg. So again, just hit it on the side. And I'm going to use 4 eggs. And I'm going to whisk them together a little bit. Here we go. That's all you have to do. Okay, let me put this in the sink. Going to pour this into the bowl. Let's get rid of this. Okay, next my feta, but let me wash this raw egg off my fingers. All right, let me try, my onions are they're done. They're nice and soft. I'm going to shut that off. And actually, let me take the cover off and let them cool because I'm going to pour, that's going to go right into our filling. And let me see. All right, now, this is a 1-pound piece of feta. I'm probably going to use 8 to 10 ounces of this. And again, once you make this the first time with this amount of feta, after that you can judge it better on how much feta you like in it. So let's use about this amount of feta. And you just kind of crumble it in. Okay. All right, now I'm going to also add some fresh ground black pepper. Now, I don't add salt because I think there's enough salt in the cheeses that you're going to use in this. Also, another thing, if you've got any cheese left over, especially a sharper cheese like Parmesan or maybe a Gruyere, I would add that in. So you can add more cheese if you want. Okay, give it a little bit of a different twist. Okay, so there's my black pepper. Put that over there. And now that brine, let me show you that. Here, let's put this off to the side. I'm just letting my onions cool a little bit more before I add them, and then we're going to mix this all together. So again, put some brine in here, and you just take your leftover feta and put it right in there. Get rid of that, and I've got a cover up here to put on it. And there you go. You can put it right in the refrigerator like that. Okay? So again, if you're going to get the Greek feta, make sure you get some extra brine to go with it. Alrighty. Put that away. And then we'll go to our next step. And for this, I don't know, I'm going to start this with a spoon. But I just find it gets a lot better incorporated when you put gloves on. Okay, then you can really mix it in there. So I'll start that with a wooden spoon. And I always like to keep those gloves around the house anyway, because a lot of jobs like this, or even if you're cleaning up somewhere, sometimes these latex gloves are great. So I find them very helpful, especially with stuff like this. All right, and then we'll have our filling done. And then I can show you the technique of making Spanakopita. All right. See this? In this way, too, you can break up some of the bits of feta in there and really incorporate it well. Do a lot of mixing like this when you're in catering or in food service with the gloves. It just, really get your hands in there. Okay. And let me add my onions now. Those should be cooled enough. Take this off. Alrighty. Yep. Put the onions in. Put another glove on. Okay. Continue mixing. Oh, yeah. Yep. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to clean up this work area. And let me show you what that looks like. It's well incorporated. Let me clean up this work area, and then we're going to be ready to assemble our Spanakopita, and it's going to go right in the oven. Okay, now that we have our filling done, we are ready to assemble Spanakopita. Now the first thing, if you're working by yourself, I take a couple of paper towels, okay, I left them attached. I've already wet these, but I'll show you. I just put some water on them, dampen them, squeeze out the water. You just want these towels damp because this is going to keep your fillo dough from drying out when you're doing this by yourself. Okay? And once you get fast enough, you won't need to do this. But, it's just a precaution also. And I think this is why some people get frustrated with working with fillo, or they have in the past, is because it does dry out very quickly. So again, if you're working by yourself, you just get a damp paper towel, and that will keep it, the fillo moist enough. Now, if you're working with somebody else, it's great because somebody's going to be able to butter and someone can get the next sheet ready right away, and I'll show you that. But anyway, let's open up our fillo. So it comes in this nice package, and usually there are 20 sheets to one of these rolls. So I'm usually going to use 10 on the bottom, put our filling on, and 10 on the top. But today, I told you that I'm going to show you also how to make the little appetizer section. So before I forget to reserve some filling for that, why don't I do that, and I'm going to reserve 2 of these at the end to show you how to make the little appetizer bites of the fillo triangles, they call them. So we're going to do 9 layers now on the bottom, filling, then 9 more. And remind me to save 2, okay? So for right now, let's just, here we go, yep. Little dish, and I'm just going to take out enough filling to show you 4 of those triangles, so that should be enough, just a little bit here. Just want to show you the method. Yep. Okay, that's good. Put that aside so I don't forget. All right, now we're ready to go. Just clip the end off that. roll it out like this. Okay, now just find the end, where the end point is, and then keep this on the bottom. All right, look at this. Just carefully unroll it. All right, there you go. You got your fillo all set to go. Now, right now, I'm just going to cover it with the damp paper towel. You don't want to spray it with water or get this wet, or it'll all stick together and it will become like paste. Now, here's my butter. I'm going to add about another 3 tablespoons of olive oil, only because I told you I like that combo of butter and olive oil. So you have about a half cup. Let's just mix this together a little and we're ready to go. All right. Use a wide brush like this. Oh, what is this? Probably 2 inches wide. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is butter my dish. All righty. I'll lay that across like that. Take the top off like that. And I'm going to take 1 sheet off, and see how paper thin that is? Okay. I'm going to put it right in my 13 by 9 inch dish. Don't worry about how it goes in there. It's going to be buttered right away. Cover that if you're not sure about your speed to begin with. Now again, just take some butter and olive oil mixture or butter and just slap it on there and do the sides and all. That's important. Okay? Now once you have this buttered, you don't have to worry about it. Done. Now it's not going to dry out anymore. All right? Let me show you another one. And again, let's not worry about the sides or anything right now. So we're going to do how many? 9. Normally I'd do 10, but again, we're going to reserve a couple. Again, take the top, look at this, roll it right back. This is a good one. Sometimes they tear a little. Don't worry about it. This is forgiving. Again, look at this, my 13 by 9 inch pan. And again, get a 13 by 9. And that's a pretty standard dish for the household anyway, because these sheets come in what? 9 by 14. So see, it works out perfectly well. Again, I start in the middle here and just make sure you get those sides. Just butter it all here. In fact, I'm going to tuck that in a little. Okay, go right along the edges, whatever you're comfortable with. You butter that sheet. Done. Again, now once that's done, you don't have to worry about it drying out. So let's go on from there. We got 3. All righty. See that? I'm going to cover it again. Again, when you're a beginner, just as a precaution so it doesn't dry out. If this starts drying out, just re-wet it and squeeze it out. So this is 3, and again, right along the edges, in the middle, whatever you're comfortable with, but get that whole sheet buttered quick, quick. And again, just hit it again. All right, here we go with 4. All right, lay it right in the dish like that. Again, don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be completely straight. See what I'm doing here? This is 4. Again, there you go. Done. Put that in the dish. Here we go. With, again, just grab the corner. Pull it right up like that. Oh, this one's going to tear a little, but I just want to show you how, there. Just pull it like that. Don't worry about this ripping. In fact, that's good that it's doing that, because I'm going to show you. Just put it right over the top like that. Cover this up. And again, once these all bake together, it's all going to be nice and crispy and not even going to see any of those tears. It's all going to flow together. Okay? That, I think, is 4, 5. Okay, so now we're going to do 6. And again, grab the corner again. I'm just going to show you a few of these. Pull that out a little. Okay. Separate. And again, with this, it's just patience. Okay? It's just patience. Here we go. That's one of them. That's half. So now we'll grab the other half down here. There. See, just put it on the other side of the dish. And again, let's cover this. And again, it's a little broken. That isn't going to matter at all once you get this all in the dish. Again, butter the edges. 6. And now I'm going to continue. So when I get 9 on here, I'll show you we'll put the filling on. And 9. All right, here we go. Oh, look at this. See, now they're coming out right again. But again, you don't have to worry about them tearing or anything because you're going to repair it as you go along. Here we go. There, let's butter this. I like this. I mean, this is fun. You can see how after a while you really get a rhythm going. And can you see with 2 people, one butters, the other pulls out the sheet. You have this done in minutes. All right, now we've got 9. Normally, we'd have 10, but we're going to reserve a couple for those appetizer sizes. You take the filling, okay? Just put all the filling in there. Oh, yeah, it looks so good. Yep. You can smell the mint and the dill. Okay, you just spread this out with a spatula, and we're going to keep going. 9 on top, and then I'm going to show you how to cut it. And again, another very important part of making Spanakopita is the proper cutting technique before it goes into the oven. So here we go. There you go. There. Done. Now we're just going to finish the top, and we're all done. And we're going to pair this up with a nice Greek salad after. They're all, look at how nice these sheets are coming out now. Oh yeah, now they're cooperating. Okay. So we got 1, see, nice, nice. Keep it going. Yeah, 2. Again, little tears, don't worry about it. Yeah. And again, once you hit it with that butter or oil, you are done. Don't worry about that little tear. Let's see, 3. Here we go. And again, it's sticking a little. Just hold your hand, pull it back. There we go. It's like tissue paper, isn't it? What's this, 3? There we go. See how nice, how challenging this dish is also? But it's easy, really. Once you get this method down, you're all set. All right, and here we go with the 9th. All right. I'm going to cover this up. These are the 2 that I've got left. I'm going to show you how to make the appetizer size. Okay. Now. Oh, yeah, look at that top one. All right. Yeah. Okay, make sure you get those edges because those edges dry out. They're done. Now I'm just going to show you the cutting. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside for right now while I show you these appetizer sizes. Okay, now I've got 2 sheets left. Now there are different ways of doing this too, because I know there's one way you can fold this in thirds, but this is the way I do it. Oh, see that tear, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Put it out like this. Okay, you're going to butter this sheet. There we go. Alrighty. So we buttered 1 sheet. Now that's all set. Let me move this over here. I've got my top sheet. Put that right over. See what we're doing? We're doing the same thing that we do for the Spanakopita in the dish. Okay. There we go. There. So I buttered the whole thing. And again, make sure you have these edges. Now once that's done, you're fine. So let me get a sheet pan that I'm going to put these on. Okay, I'm going to grab a little sheet pan right here. Now, this is the way I saw in a book that I actually like this method. So what I'm going to do put on a glove. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it on my left hand because I'm a righty. I'm going to take a little teaspoon. I'm going to take our reserve Spanakopita filling, and I'm going to do 4. Okay, just like this. Let's do 1, 2. This is the kind of size. Oh, probably about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. Space them out so you get 4 somewhat even. Let's see. Give some more to this guy. Here you go. I'll use this amount of filling for the last one. There we go. On the edge. Leave a little on the edge like that. Let me just adjust a little bit. You can actually do 5 across like this too, but again, with experimenting, I kind of like this size. Here we go. All right, now I just take a small pizza cutter and I go in between, just like this. Let me move this pan out of the way so you can see. Again, right in between. Just like that. Right in between. Just like that. Okay? So you have a little bit of left on each side. Okay. Now, I'm going to fold it up like this, like a flag. See what I'm doing? And like this. Just like a flag. Just like you're folding a flag. And like this. And this little part here, we're just going to, that's your seam side. So put the seam side down. I'm going to put that on the pan. And of course, this is the underside was not buttered. So we're just going to hit it with some butter like that. And there you go. There's your first appetizer size triangle. Okay? Here we go again with the flag. Bring the corner over like that, so you're making a triangle. Then up like this at right angles. Over. Okay, takes a little practice unless you're good at folding flags. Took me a while, I know, to get this one. Over like this. And then one more time over, and you got your seam sides already down. So we're going to put that there, and again, hit that. And you know what? The batch that I made, believe it or not, that will make close to 100 of these. So if you only want maybe, 50 to 60, depending on the size, then cut this recipe in half if you're going to make this appetizer size. As I'll tell you, one night I didn't realize how many it was making to begin with, and I think I did 5 of these across, and I think I made 125, so I was there for quite a while. So you're going to do these appetizer sizes with the double batch. Get a friend to help you. All right, here we go. And this is sort of this has got a seam on both sides, but more of one on this side, so I'm just going to put it like that. And again, just hit it with some butter. And our last one here. Again, right over like that. You can press it down a little, doesn't matter. Okay, over like that. Over like this. Oh, yeah, let me fold this in. This is a little bit wide. Okay, and again, I'm just going to flag shape and over. And I'm going to tuck that in. And put that on the sheet. Well, not quite a triangle, but you know what? That's good enough. I'm happy with that. There you go. There's your appetizer sizes. And again, you want to make them smaller than that, then you do 5 of those dollops along the bottom. All right. Now I'm going to show you, let's put this in the oven. I'm going to say for the appetizers, maybe 15 minutes. I'm going to set it like that to begin with. So 350 degree oven. Let's set that for 15, and I'm going to finish the top on this. So, most important part of putting this all together at this point, have to cut the top. And you're going to cut just through the top layer. Do not cut through the bottom layer. This way, when it's baking, it's all going to puff up. The layers are going to separate. It's going to be beautiful. If you do not cut the top before you begin, and when you bake it, you'll never be able to cut it. It will all fall apart. So what I'm going to do to begin with, let's tuck in these edges. I just get a butter knife, and I just go along the edge like this. That's all. I just use my finger to just kind of tuck the edges in. That's all you want to do. Okay? Okay? There we go. Tuck, tuck, tuck. There we go. I'm going to tuck you in for the night here. Okay. All right. Now, I get a little knife like this. For me, this works the best. If something else works better for you, fine. It's a little bit serrated. And I just start cutting across like this. I probably make a line like that. Let me just kind of measure it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And believe me, I'm not good at kind of making exact even widths. They don't have to be. So I'm going across like this. So I have a line to follow. Again, very light, okay? And then I'm going to go down in thirds. And again, I'm just marking it right now. I'm not cutting through the top layer yet. All right, so I'm going to show you what that, just like that. Okay? Now, you can leave it like this so you have 12 somewhat square pieces. Okay, I'm not going to say those are a perfect square because I know they're not. And then what you would do is just gently, in a sawing motion, hold your knife straight up and down, and it'll cut real nice. Again, not at an angle. For some reason, it cuts much better straight, up and down, and separate between the pieces. And again, you're just going through that top layer, okay? And you don't have to get every tiny little piece because you're going to separate this more when it comes out of the oven. Again, I'm using a sawing motion, and I am going right through just the top. Do not cut through the bottom because as this bakes and sets up, if you cut through the bottom, some of the filling, the moisture will get all along the bottom of the pan and it will make them soggy. So we're going to cut the bottom later. All right, now I'm going to show you. Now that's fine the way this is right here. Again, just cutting through the top. But if you wanted to make these all triangular pieces, like you see in the, in the Greek deli shops, then just cut each one of these on the diagonal, okay, and do the same thing. I'm just going to do maybe 3 of these, and then we're going to pop this in the oven, okay? Again, right down the middle of each of those squares, just cut it on the diagonal. And again, please, just through the top layer. And you can see how easy that is to do at this point, okay? And again, you don't have to get every little piece of fillo from each side, just so it's enough so when it does bake, we're going to be able to cut right through this, okay? You just want a guideline. So there we go. We've cut through all the top layer of fillo. Okay, now this is going into the oven at 350 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes till it's browned and puffed, and I'll show you what that looks like when it comes out of the oven, and we're going to finish this off. Okay, these are out of the oven now. Let's first look at our appetizer Spanakopita and see how nice that came out, nice and lightly browned on the top. And I'm going to let these cool for a while. And actually, Greek and Mediterranean food is really meant to be eaten at room temperature. So that's what's terrific about these dishes also. Bring them out of the oven, let them sit till they get to room temperature, and they're good for quite a while. That's really what they're, the temp they've designed to be eaten at. So now, this is our Spanakopita that just came out of the oven. This is what it looks like. See how nice and golden brown? Show you the bottom. All right, now we're going to cut through the rest of it. So just where your lines are, where you made your cuts, just take a knife, cut right through that. Just use those lines as a guide. And now you can cut all the way through. Okay, and I'm going to go down like this, See how nice that is? See how nice and flaky the top is? All right. Just down, we did these in triangles. Oh, this is going to be good. Then once you cut all the way through, you just let this set up at room temp. And what I do, I initially go through with a knife like this. You can use a small knife, but I happen to have a little spatula like this that works really great. And I just kind of cut through the rest of it like that. Okay, so you just do that on the rest of the pan and you'll be able to separate these. So I'm going to continue doing this and let these cool down. And then I'm going to plate them with a nice Greek salad and some fillo wine. Okay, now we're ready to enjoy this wonderful Greek feast. As you can see, I've made a wonderful Greek salad here with the lettuce, tomato, red onion, cucumbers, the colossal Kalamata olives, and the green olives, both with pits, because I think that's a more traditional Greek dish, a salad. I made a quick dressing with lemon juice, oregano, and extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to pour over the top of that. Then we're going to just garnish with feta. I've got my Spanakopita ready, and I also have my fillo wine, which the fillo grape is considered one of the most aromatic Greek white wine grapes. And now I'm going to have my husband, the cameraman, join me for this wonderful Greek feast. And I thank you for being with me this week, and join me again on the next time on Linda's Kitchen. Thank you.